I spoke with Bahman Kalbasi, who covers international affairs for the BBC. In his estimate, Iran's true goal here, at its heart, is bigger than just power. It's security and self-determination. Iran has its fingers in a lot of different pots around the Middle East and the region. Where would you say its primary focus is today?
Its focus primarily is on deterrence because the psychology inside Iran, especially after the 8-year war with Iraq, where basically the entire world supported Saddam Hussein and Iran was left fending for itself, was that everybody is out to get us, especially America, especially many of the Arab countries and Israel. So for them, how do we deter them from the idea of another war like the one in the 80s? How do we deter them from a bombardment campaign like that happened in Iraq or in Afghanistan? Is to have many cards to play in the region.
What you normally hear is that Iran is basically the Eddie Haskell of the world, out there making trouble all the time, instead of maybe that they have internally a bunker mentality. And also this idea that we see with maybe Russia right now is that they want respect also.
Yeah, absolutely. They have said over and over, and there is this famous fax in 2003. If you look it up, it's the one that they sent to the Bush administration right after the Iraq war and said, look, we're ready to talk about all the issues on table, including support for Hamas and Hezbollah, meaning signaling that we're happy to seize support for them if we get assurance from the United States that Iran is not on the target list after Iraq, after Saddam had fell. So for them, the priority is self-preservation, and they were ready to give up the cards they have in the region if they got guarantees from the United States that Iran will never be attacked.
Does their brand of Islam play a moderating role at all in the Middle East?
Well, there's extremism in both sects of Islam. There's no doubt that there are Shia groups that are extreme, and they're sometimes as extreme even as Wahhabis are. But if you ask the Iranian public, they would immediately, not just the religious part of the society, even a big part of the Iranian urban population that is fully secular, doesn't adhere much to any of these religions and any of these sects. They will, if you ask them who's the most, extremist or most radical, they would immediately point fingers at the Saudis and the Wahhabis. And I suppose if you ask the Saudi public, they would likely look at the Shias and say they're the ones who are making all the trouble.
Right now, is there any country other than Saudi Arabia that is challenging Iran or is as big of a rival or trying to become as big of a rival in the region for power?
The question really has to be, do we have to go towards this mentality or fostering the existing mentality of countering each other, or are there diplomatic ways that Saudi and Iran can sit together and solve problems? There's a long precedent that even though this rivalry goes back many decades, Iran and Saudis have solved problems when they sat together and talked. And it was much more successful when the American administration didn't take sides and, in fact, pushed both sides to sit down and solve their problems.